What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen, and this is Sales Funnel Radio. Today we are going to talk about what to do when your revenue outgrows your business.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9 to 5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, guys? Hey, I am very excited for this episode. So when I officially left my job, right? Just like the intro to this podcast says, right? January 1st. It's been 5 solid months now, 5.5-ish by the time this episode goes out. And 5.5 months. And it's been fascinating to watch what's happened, okay? So follow me here, okay? This is what happened, okay? So I left, right? And I had this awesome idea. I vetted it. I knew it'd be successful. And what I did is I went and I started launching. And what started happening is over on this side was the sales. Sales. Revenue. Lots of money started coming in. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I've never had this much cash coming. Whoa, my gosh, whoa. And all this cash started dumping on in. And we did about $100,000 the first month, right? And then it's continued. It's down to like 50. So we do like 50 grand a month, and that's where it's been at. And I slowed it down, okay? Because here's what started happening, okay? I started going, and you guys might be like, hey, that's kind of funny. Why would you slow it down? I actually slowed it down, okay? We're keeping it at 50 grand a month right now, right? Because here's what's happened, okay? January, February, March was like sell. And I'm selling, and we're making cash, and it's coming in, and we're at $100,000, right? Boom. We're making a lot of cash coming in. And then what we did is, what I started realizing was my actual business wasn't able to handle what was going on, right? And I was like, crap, I've never ever thought that this would ever happen to me. And I say that because when I started building all these funnels for these companies while I was in college, and it always happened this way, right? And I've said this before, but it always happens this way where, the funnels that we build, they sell things very, very, very well. They do. They sell things very well. It is like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think people understand how well the funnels work, okay? And what that does, though, is it actually creates a business problem, not a funnel problem. Here's what I mean. I was building all these funnels for people in college, and there was this guy I was building a funnel for, and when I put the funnel up, right, I did this research, and I ran ask campaigns, and I figured out exactly what his customers needed, and I went and I put those things together, and I put the funnel together, and we launched it, and boom, right? He made a lot of cash real fast, through those funnels, it was like, he did like 50 grand really quick, 50 grand in like the first month. It was something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago now. Okay, but there's a lot of cash coming in, and then it kept going. And it's always funny because like day number one after launching the funnel, the business owner always comes and they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this cash coming in. That's amazing. These funnels are so cool, right? And then day number 2, they always reach back out and they're like, wow, this is really awesome. Holy crap, that's still a lot of sales. Then day number 3, they're always like, turn it off. You're going to bankrupt us. Turn it off. And I remember I was kind of like laughing when they said it. I thought they were joking. And I was like, why would I ever turn off this? Why did I turn off this funnel? Who wants less sales? I've never heard anyone say that in my life ever. And at the time, I was making fun of it. I was like, I just didn't know any better. And I was like, that's stupid. Why would you ever want less sales? And he had run into a situation where the revenue was outpacing his business, right? Funnels are not businesses. They're not, right? A funnel is a revenue arm. A funnel is a very effective way to sell stuff, right? A business, though, that's completely different. A business is a series of systems. That's really all it is. It's a series of systems that fulfills on the funnel. That's really it. Okay, that's the way I define it anyway, okay? And if you don't have enough systems in place, it means that every person who purchases from you is being fulfilled on differently. It means that every person who's coming in, right, and has a support question, you're treating it differently every single time. It means for every single package that needs to get shipped out, there's not a process in place. It's literally different every time. And what's hard about that is that it makes it very challenging to scale. And especially if you were just starting out and you are kind of a solo guy for a while, you're a solo individual person for a while, and you're kind of running on your own, that's great. That's a great place to be. But eventually you're going to get to a place where your revenue starts to outpace your ability to fulfill well. And that's what happened to me, okay? Right? And funny enough, right, I graduated college, started working at ClickFunnels, and we did the exact same thing to like so many other people. Whereas day one, we launched an amazing funnel, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all the sales. Day number two, they're like, wow, that is still a lot of sales, oh my gosh. Day number three, they're like, turn it off, turn it off. Turn it off. There's no way that, oh my gosh, that's not gonna, we're gonna die. You're literally gonna bankrupt us. We're not gonna be able to fulfill on all this stuff. And I remember the second time it happened, it was for a funnel we had built for, I don't know if I should say the name, but anyway, Russell and I built a sweet e-com funnel. It was amazing. They had tons of revenue coming in, and they spent the next 2 or 3 months simply upgrading and building and solidifying and putting in place systems, things inside of their company so that it actually could handle the revenue. Isn't that funny? I don't know, for some reason I had never ever considered that for such a long time. And so what I started doing was, right, and I ran into the same thing. That kept happening at ClickFunnels when we would build, part of my first role when I got there was to fulfill, I built a lot of funnels for Russell's personal clients. I built a lot of funnels for ClickFunnels itself, but especially when I first got there, that was like his personal clients that he was doing it. I was building them, putting them together, and so it's funny. It's like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And a lot of these guys, what we noticed is that traditionally, like I have a marketing degree, right? In business, what I noticed, in business marketing degree that I got, in actually college itself, they do a lot on teaching the business, the actual systems and the structure. They do hardly anything on teaching sales, right? Just so funny, which just makes sense why everyone goes and gets VC funding, because they build the team and there's no cash to freaking support it. You're like, that seems backwards. Anyway, so I went through and I started going through this very same thing. I started recognizing it coming up, right? And I launched all my stuff, and I was like, it was like money. I was like, holy crap, right? And I was still at that time really the sole operator of my business. And I was like, this is interesting. I know what happens next. Pretty soon it becomes so high and the tower gets so tall that eventually there's not enough foundation and it starts to crumble and you start getting refunds and people start saying bad things about you. And I was like, crap, I don't want to hit that. And so funny enough, I actually purposefully had my amazing ads person, which I know I will interview her one day and put her on here because she's incredible. But I had my amazing ads individual go and we kept the ads tiny because I did not have the power to fulfill at the rate I wanted to, at the rate I was able to sell at. And funny enough, usually most businesses are the exact opposite. They're like, they got the sweet structure and they don't know how to get new cash. Well, I'm a funnel builder, baby. Like the cash part's not the hard part. It's right. It's this other way. So what I've been doing, and I don't know. I guess I've been feeling the need to, it's June now, to account, let you guys know what's been happening. And so for the first 3 months, there's been a lot of cash that came in. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's nuts. Crap, I'm the only guy, and I was pulling my hair out, just stressed 24/7. And I remember I was talking to, this wasn't an inner circle meeting, but I was talking to a lot of the members. We were hanging out at someone's house, and we were all just kind of hanging out, and they were asking what's going on, and I was telling them what's going on, and someone was talking about, you're probably going to have to put the brake on just a little bit to go build the stuff up, and then you'll be able to handle more cash coming in. And I did not want that to be the answer, and I really did not want him to say that. And I was like, sell. But so what I've been doing is, so the first 3 months of the year, right, was a lot of cash. The second 3 months, though, this last 3 months, I've been doing a lot of stuff. Right? I'm one of the coaches for 2 Comma Club Coaching X, the new 2CCX program, and it's going freaking incredible, right? But I've got my own processes down in place there now, and helping them fulfill and helping them do amazing stuff and helping everyone, make cash and make money and put their funnels together and stuff like that. So I've been doing that, as well as actually my webinar stuff that I'm doing, right? So I've been selling. It's been tons of fun. Backed off on the selling a little bit. I've put together a lot of systems in the past little bit here, a lot of them, and it's been a lot of fun. I always thought that it was kind of like a drag, but I know now why. Because without huge cash coming in, why on earth am I building the system, right? That's what my mentality is like. I'm like, what's the ROI of me building a system when there's not buttloads of cash that, to match it with? And so that's what I've been doing here. So anyways, that's all I would encourage you guys to do is that as you start, if you are selling and you've got cash coming in and you're like, hey, this is going really, really well, it's going incredible, and you're having a hard time blowing up, I want to tell you one thing that Russell told me. Actually, I was sitting next to him. I had only been working there for a little bit, and I was keeping notes. I mean, I would sit next to the dude, right? I mean, would you not take notes? Right? So I did. And I had a Trello board called Brunsonisms and Russell lessons and things like that. And I would write down things that I was hearing him say. Things were really profound. And I was already fanatic about his content, but like really profound things. And this is what he said. He was talking to one of his inner circle people, and he goes, scaling from 6 to 7 figures. He goes, funny enough, I'm going to botch the quote, but this is the lesson. He said, scaling from 6 to 7 figures is not a manner of more hours in the office. Okay, scaling from 6 to 7 figures is about leverage. It's about leverage. And so if you've got a product, right? We've done like 300 grand, something like that. We did 100 real fast, and then it was like, 70, 50, 50, 50. Like, it's been a lot of 50s because I recognized quickly, I was like, crap, like, back it up just a bit, right? And what I've noticed is it's a leverage problem, right? So what you're leveraging, though, is systems. And you're putting systems in place that expand you, that lets you fulfill, that lets you, right, go grab another funnel out there, put something out there that brings more cash in, so things like that. But specifically, right, it's a leverage problem. It's not typically a cash problem. You guys will all notice, and you all see if you haven't already, which I know a lot of you guys are already rock stars and you're making a buttload of cash already, right? But for those of you guys who are like just starting out, you'll see really quickly, right? It's typically when you go and you start, you're building, you're getting the revenue coming in, awesome, and you should do that. Prove to the market that it's awesome. You find that when you actually have an amazing product, right? Like my product right now is so freaking awesome. I keep adding some amazing, oh my gosh. I just added this really cool thing to it. Another time, another episode, but oh my gosh. And the success rate is just like skyrocketing because of it. Anyway, right? But when you actually figure out something really awesome, the path to $1 million is not actually that hard. I was like, whoa, that actually is really quick. Woo! That's what I remember. I was walking out. I think it was my last day at ClickFunnels, and Russell's like, "So, what's the goal, man?" And I was like, $1 million. And he goes, "You're gonna find out real fast. It's not that hard." And I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. It's not that hard. Let me just tell you right now, it's not that hard. Oh my gosh, right? For that funnel right there that I tossed out is really, really quick. And so what I've been doing though is now the revenue came in real fast. I was like, crap, I need systems to handle it. And I don't want to become so systemized that suddenly the systems start outpacing the revenue. So I can feel it. I can tell that I have an organization now, right? There's like 8 people on my team now, right? I have a full-time employee. I'm getting full-time support, full-time assistant. I'm like, right? I'm setting up the structure so that now I can go back to the thing and be like, blow it up, baby. Yeah, go. We're going to 3, right? Going to 3 real quick, right? Does that make sense? And so, and if you watch all these other 2 Comma Club winners, they've gone through a very similar pattern personally. While we often study the funnel, which is great. We study their marketing, which is great. Remember, though, to actually study their business and the structure of it. And when you're funnel hacking, you're not just funnel hacking funnels, you're actually also funnel hacking the way they fulfilled on what the funnel was selling, okay? And so that's been part of what I've been doing heavily this last little bit. I mean, I've been studying my face off. I got notes and papers all over the place over my desk right now. I've got, because I got the revenue now coming in, and now what I'm doing is I'm building the actual systems and the processes to support more revenue. My current structure could not, I don't think it could handle much more as it is, right? Meaning my structure as of 2 months ago. My structure now, though, it's getting a lot cleaner. And I know that coming up soon here, I'm gonna be able to just like scale. What I've learned and what I've seen from a lot of people is, and if you look at the pattern of a lot of 2 Comma Club winners as well, you'll notice in there that a lot of them, usually it's with like 3 to 5 people, they'll run to $1 million real quick. Actually 3 to 5 people on their team, they usually hit around 3 million. That's obviously, my gosh, that's different for every business, every industry, but the actual structure, the business structure, allows them to get to that kind of place usually pretty quickly with not many people on the team. It doesn't take a huge team to do so, to do these things. So, like Brandon and Kalen Poulin, right? They just crossed $10 million. They just had their first $3 million month. Crazy. And they've got 40 people on their team. 40, okay? It doesn't take these gigantic teams, though, to make a significant amount of cash for your pocket. What the roles are, so real quick, I'll tell you the roles, and then my camera's going to die. Okay, so what I'm going for is, right, I am the main marketer, funnel builder, CEO, right? That's the position that I'm in. I also have an affiliate manager, right? That's my first full-time employee. Not support, right? Not assistant. I want other cash-generating people, right? That's all I want. Right, where there's still structure place. So he's going out and he's my affiliate manager. He's going out and he's creating relationships. We're doing another huge Dream 100 package drop. That's actually where he is right now. That's why he's not sitting there right now. He's at the post office. We're doing another big Dream 100 drop, and we got a lot of people excited to promote. Right, and he is bringing in new blood as far as relationships goes. Okay, so it's me as the funnel builder, marketer, and attractive character, right? That's the roles I'm trying to take on. The next one, though, right, affiliate manager, and that actually was told to me by Russell. He said the next employee I would get 100%, man, go grab an affiliate manager, and then grab like an assistant and then a support person. Okay, really, that's it. I mean, if you're like shipping stuff out, maybe a fulfillment person, I'll probably maybe grab 2 support people so that they're almost around the clock. You know, almost. But that's it. That's all I really need, right? As far as full-time people. Now I have content people. I felt like 6 content people. Got an amazing traffic driver. I do have a bookkeeper, okay? But those are like VA positions. They're not full-time on my books. They're on my books every month, but they're not like, they're not W-2 employees. These are 1099s that as far as like full-time W-2 employees that are actually like here with me, right? Got the affiliate manager, definitely gonna have a full-time assistant, definitely gonna have a full-time support, because right now we're doing the support piece. He mostly is doing support and affiliate stuff. And that's kind of it. Those are the roles. It's really 4 roles that I'm going for the business model that I love and modeling. And it's going great, and everything's running how it should. So anyways, guys, hopefully that's helpful to you. I just wanted to do a little bit of accounting so that you see like where you are. And if you're feeling stuck, start comparing back and forth between, okay, is my funnel revenue outpacing my business? Because they're not the same, right? Or if you're like, hey, I've got this sweet business and these cool systems and structures and processes, but not enough revenue, go build a funnel, right? And kind of this balance between one or the other. They're gonna have a hard time outpacing each other. Right? After a while, the structure will get too weighty. You're not going to have the cash to hold the system, so the system will get leaner. So I kind of build it like this, right? Revenue, and kind of up to where that revenue is. Then revenue. I don't like to build the business past the revenue. That's called debt, and I personally am not a huge fan. So I own my stuff. I don't want anyone else to own it. All right. Hopefully it's helpful, and hopefully just so you guys know what's going on with my team and how I'm actually building it out, how I'm actually putting it together. My content team, they're freaking rock stars. I'm definitely going to interview them so you guys all know who they are. And then over here on the other side, though, right, the W-2 side where I'm actually building out a full-time team with it. Like, it doesn't really take them, like backwards plan, right? Figure it out, like, well, how much money is that person probably going to want a month? How much is that person going to want a month? Okay, sweet. Right, my hard costs right now are like 25 grand a month. Right, my salary, the other guys, the other people, the VAs, hard costs right now for the content team, for everything else, 25 grand a month. That's not bad at all. All right, sweet. That dunzo. Let's do that. So I've backed way off, built up the structures, got the systems in place. We're just vetting them right now. That's really all we're doing. And as of yesterday, I talked to my amazing ads person. We're going to go scale these ads like crazy and get them off the ground. So anyways, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to show a little accounting so you guys know what I've been doing. Because my structure could not handle much more. So anyway, awesome stuff. The next road mark I fully expect we'll probably do this is me calling my shot, okay? I think that we're gonna hit the 1 million by October, and then at the latest, and I think we'll go to like maybe 1.4, 1.5 by the end of the year as we're pacing, okay? And that's me looking at where we are combined with the campaigns that we're putting in place, where I've seen them go before, where I've put them before. So anyways, some of it, anyway, we'll see what happens, but that's where I am. And it's kind of a different episode, but be cognizant of that. I never realized that I would be in the role that I am as far as a systems builder. You know what I mean? I'm a funnel builder. Now, by necessity, I'm also a systems builder, which has been great. So anyways, hopefully it's been helpful. I'll talk to you guys later. Please rate this podcast and review it. That helps me like crazy. I think that my podcast is one of the foremost podcasts on funnels, which is why I'm trying to push it hard and prove to iTunes that it matters. So please leave a review and share it. That means the world to me. And I'll talk to you all in the next episode. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Want today's best opt-in funnels for free? Get your free opt-in funnel pack by going to salesfunnelbroker.com/free funnels to kickstart your opt-ins today.